Yeah, obviously, when you get to the end of the season, you never think it's going to end, right? And so you never, even like in the locker room, you don't really have that end of season speech prepared because we all have egos. We all think we're going to keep winning and win that next game. So at the end of the day, I think there's 20 teams up here, 10 guys, 10 girls. 18 of us are going to feel this moment right here, and 2 are going to feel that absolute joy. So, it's bigger than the game itself. Just it's a hard feeling. I feel bad for these guys. But going to the game with Montana State, for whatever reason, they've just been a really bad matchup for us, and part of that is they're really good. I asked my staff at one point. I said, how are some of these teams beating these guys? Because every time we play these guys this year, they jumped on us, and I don't think it's for a lack of effort. I think we're pretty good. I think we played really well against pretty much every other team in the league. But for whatever reason, they're a bad matchup for us. I thought we played hard to start the game. I thought we did some really kind of dumb things, just in the sense of some really bad fouls that got them to the bonus. And one of the biggest things is Montana State, they're sixth in the country at getting to the free throw line, and they don't miss. So if you put them on the free throw line, you're just going to dig a hole. And at halftime, I think the foul discrepancy or the free throws, I think they were +9 in points from free throws. That was a big deal. So at the end of the day, I'm proud of our guys, just on the basic box score. Told the guys at halftime, look, we're down 23. Let's try to find a way to, make some magic. It didn't happen, but that 23 could have gone to 40 against a good team like that, and we ended up, cutting that thing down to 11. So I do think we fought until the very end.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now open it up to questions for our 2 players.
Dalton Hay, Coulter, Nuanez, Skyline Sports. What was the biggest challenge of the season for you guys?
I would just say just playing consistently on both sides of the court. I mean, we had our little stretches, but overall, I think we just didn't stay consistent enough. But otherwise, I feel like we had a good season altogether. Just rough little stretches, but I feel like all of us just played hard every single minute of the game, and we're all just trying to do our best out on the court.
Dalen, this league was crazy this year. There was like 35 one-possession games. I mean, what was the margin of victory or margin of defeat like in this league? How challenging was this league this year?
It just shows how good every team in this league is, like you said. And these games is coming down to like a few possessions at a time. Whereas if it's turnovers or mental mistakes or whatever it may be, like it just kind of shows that how good the league is this year.
If I could get both of your takes, you guys played a really tough game last night. Had to wake up this morning and know that you have to go again. Was getting your legs under you guys today tough? Did that contribute to the slow start at all?
A little bit. It's definitely different playing back-to-back games because the whole course of the season we have days in between. But in non-conference we play like kind of a tournament where there's 3 back-to-back games to kind of prepare us for this. So it wasn't as bad as it would have been if we didn't have that, weren't ready for that. But we've kind of been through this a little bit before already.
Yeah, kind of like how Dalen said. I mean, Coach Smiley and the staff got us ready when we went down to New Mexico to play 3 games in 3 days. So they got us prepared, and felt like we weren't that tired. I mean, I felt like we were all ready to play, and we were excited because what happened last year, all of us we were ready.
Thank you both. Coach will now take any questions you guys have for Coach.
Coach, you guys, what was said at halftime? You mentioned that you guys cut in, but
Yeah, it's hard. Again, this is including these 2 guys. We've had a lot of guys that have won a lot of games, and I think even as before the game, when NAU hit that shot to beat Eastern Washington, and so it's like, hey, look, we did a lot pregame showing that every year in this league on the second night, there's a major upset. Where 7 beats a 2 and 8 beats a 1 every year going back to 2018, which is all the years that I've been in Northern Colorado. Someone's gotten beat, and the way that we sold to our guys, like, look, we're gonna go into your initial question, we're gonna be a little bit more tired. Our legs are, we had to put a lot of energy, into that game last night, but they're gonna be a little bit tighter in theory, right? It's their first game. They've only been on the court for 25 minutes. And I think that's why sometimes those upsets happen. we've been a lot of times where we've been the 2 seed or the 1 seed or whatever it is. And so there was a lot of hope, a lot of belief, and then you're sitting there at halftime and you're down 47-24, and it's to be honest, it's pretty demoralizing. And we just said, look, let's try to find some way to, make a miracle happen. If we can chop this down and get it to 16-15 at the first media, the first 4-minute war, let's find a way to get that done. And I think the first few possessions, Montana State, they scored on us again, and they stretched it out. So the reality of the situation was it was out of hand at that point in time. But I do think our guys battled. But that's a tough halftime speech for sure.
Coach, similar thing I asked Dalen, so many close games in the league this year. So just how close was the margin of victory? And also, what did you learn from just navigating this year? Because, you see it. NAU's not very far away from Eastern, then they beat them on a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's what just is so weird about our series with Montana State, and give them credit. We were never close against those guys. Every other team in the league, I felt that way. You could be 8-1, 2-6. It doesn't matter. And I do think our league, the strength of our league all the way through, it's the best parity and depth of our league that I've ever seen. And I've been in the league 9 years, 7 at UNC and 2 at Weber State. The best depth I've ever seen. There are no bad teams, and usually, to be completely real, there's usually 2 or 3 teams that are really bad by the end of the season. Every team in here could, just like what NAU is doing right now, could make a big run. So I think that the single possession games, and you go back to it in our little world, we lose to Montana twice, basically at the buzzer. We lose in overtime at Idaho State. We're up 10 with 6 minutes to go to Idaho. I think if we just would have won that game and we lost that game, I think we would have moved up to the 6 or 5 seed. And now you have a little bit better path to make a run. So in our world, those single possession games, losing a few of those really hurt us.
Pat Riley used to always say the only thing harder than winning a championship is winning another one. What do you think of just their ability to kind of defend this thing? Because, they're one of the only teams that's been able to kind of make it run it back like they have.
I would not bet against them. It's not going to be easy, but I just think with the guys they got and the experience they have, with guys like Bello and Raekwon Battle, those guys, Osabor, and then the guys that they brought in, Darius is a winner. And he just oozes winning. He's a winning, tough dude, and so I would not bet against those guys, but it's not going to be easy for them.